Welcome back to the Pig Trail Show. It's time for our Hog Hoops recruiting report, joined by our Kevin McPherson, our Hogville insider. A lot to cover today, Kevin, and I want to start with the newest transfer to Arkansas and Jackson Robinson signing from Texas A&M.
Well, he took the long way to Fayetteville. Arkansas recruited him as a class of 2021 prospect. He took 3 visits. The last was to attend the Arkansas-Texas A&M basketball game season before last, and then he ended up a few days later committing to Texas A&M, and he reclassified. So last season, he spent the last season as a freshman at A&M, got in the transfer portal, and obviously last week committed and signed with the Razorbacks. So effectively, because of the pandemic and what the NCAA has done to grant all players an extra season of eligibility, he'll be a freshman again, and he'll be coming in with the 2021 freshman class, which is Chance Moore, signed in the early period, but he'll be a freshman again. So it's basically, instead of a high school senior season at Ada, Oklahoma, where he's from, he got a season in college with the Aggies. So you don't really look at his stats. Last year was kind of a throwaway. A&M really struggled to put a team on the floor, probably only played 14 games, and not a very good team as it was. So Jackson Robinson, a 6'7" wing, big time shooter, man. This is a guy that I think once he gets things going, once he adds strength, once he gets an Eric Musselman system, is going to be a big value on the perimeter, scoring the ball for Arkansas, reminiscent of a guy like Isaiah Joe, maybe, in the fact that he can be a volume shooter and efficient. But then again, when we look at him, he's also going to be, I think, have the ability to be a versatile defender because of his length and size, defend multiple positions, as Eric Musselman likes his players to be kind of positionless on the court and be able to use them in multiple ways. So Jackson Robinson, a big pickup for Arkansas. And again, now you look at it's basically at this point now a 5-player class. I mentioned Chance Moore signed early. You had 3 transfers come in April. Jackson Robinson, the first one in May. So now 5 players, and we'll see if Arkansas adds more with a couple of scholarships that are open. I think they've got a guy that's kind of been silently committed for a while. I've talked about it on radio, maybe here before, but we'll see if that name emerges in the next couple of weeks. And by the way, return date and move-in date is next weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Players are going to start coming back to Fayetteville, and the new players will be starting to join the program as it moves ahead and starts looking ahead to the 21-22 season.
Robinson playing 14 of Texas A&M's 18 games this season, as you mentioned, kind of getting some free experience there with the COVID year. Now, here's a guy that I want to move to that's coming here well in the future, possibly, and that's Dallas Thomas of Parkview from 2024 getting an offer by the Hogs. What do you think about him?
He's big. He's already big time, 6'7", maybe already pushing 6'8", a slender, long player, already can shoot the 3. He's got a lot of good perimeter skill. And, he's got several high major offers. Texas A&M and Arkansas offered on the same day last week on Thursday. He had a good phone conversation with Eric Musselman. The offer was extended. He's already had offers, though, from St. John's, Memphis, and Houston. I know Michigan, Auburn are some of the schools that are interested in him already. But remember, he was just a freshman playing for former Hog icon, former Razorback, Scotty Thurman. Everybody knows who that is, at Little Rock Parkview last year. Helped that team to a 22-4 record and the 5A Central Conference title. But again, already making a big splash this spring and summer, playing with 15 and under Brad Bill Elite, and that's part of the Nike circuit. But you're starting to see his recruitment really pick up. He becomes the second player out of that 2024 class in state to get an offer from Arkansas because K. Honor Boateng at Little Rock Central a few months ago, the 6'5" wing that plays with the 15 and under Arkansas Hawks, he also got a scholarship offer from Musselman and the Razorbacks. But it's never too soon to get on these prospects. And you can see it's not just Arkansas. There are other programs that are making offers now as well.
Some of the best teams in the nation going after Dallas Thomas. The Razorbacks, one of those in the class of 2024. And you mentioned all these big-time talents that are coming after Dallas Thomas. And you got to talk about the big-time talent that is training one recruit, Darian Ford.
Well, Joe Johnson, he's an icon, not only in Central Arkansas, but Arkansas Razorback, spent 2 seasons, helped Nolan Richard toward the end of his run at Arkansas get to back-to-back NCAA tournaments. But he's one of the best pros to ever play the game. One of only, I think, 15 players, Joe Johnson, to have 20,000 career points, 5,000-plus career assists, 5,000-plus career rebounds. So probably a future Hall of Famer, but one of the best to do it in the NBA. He's back in Central Arkansas. He's training Darian Ford right now. And, his nickname's ISO Joe, so ISO Grind Academy. A lot of big-time players, I think, in the state. We're going to start seeing Joe Johnson train. But Darian Ford, class of 2022, national top 40 guy, big time on Arkansas's radar. In fact, he's taking his official visit the first day that you can do that again after a year with the pandemic taking that stuff away. But June 1st through June 3rd, first opportunity, he's taking an official visit to Arkansas. Derrian Ford, big 6'4" combo guard out of Magnolia, two-time state 4A state title winner there. But I got to watch he and Joe work together yesterday, and Derrian didn't hardly miss a shot. I mean, he was spraying the ball. When I say splashing it, getting those nets wet from everywhere, mid-range, three-point, posting up and getting a little bank shot. So really good workout for him. Joe Johnson slowing things down, taking the time to go over some of the nuances of the game and how to properly do things. I think it's going to be a big benefit not only for Derrian, but other in-state players that find themselves working out with Joe Johnson in the near future.
That could really heat up the recruiting here in Arkansas, and you can just imagine how good Ford's going to be a year with Johnson as his coach getting worked out. Now, the one thing I want to talk about is another coach just to wrap things up, and that's Keith Smart. Of course, Arkansas bringing on Smart as an assistant coach. He's a former NBA head coach, has ties to Eric Musselman in their time with Golden State. What do you think about that Keith Smart hire, bringing him onto the Razorback staff?
Well, it's a big time hire. Let's face it. If you look at the transient nature of college basketball now, players coming and going, just like free agency and in the NBA, it makes sense for an NBA coach like Eric Musselman, a guy with all that experience at many levels, not only in the NBA, but other pro levels, as he has one of the biggest staffs in college basketball when you count everybody, bench coaches, special assistants, recruiting directors, grad assistants. It's a big staff as it is, and it looks like an NBA staff. So the way that you continue that trend is to go hire an NBA coach. Keith Smart's been a head coach at 3 NBA organizations, 20 plus years at that level of coaching. A college star, hit the game winner against Indiana, when he was at Indiana against Syracuse back in 1987, the third and final national championship for the infamous Bobby Knight. But look, Keith Smart can get it done as a coach. He's done it at the pro level. These players coming through college, that's what they expect. They want training for that next level. Whether they're going to be in the NBA playing overseas, maybe it's the G League basketball to earn money. It's a small window. And so the college is a platform for players, and Keith Smart makes sense for what Arkansas is doing to brand itself as a program that can not only help you play on a big stage and advance like they did to the Elite Eight, but you're also going to have the coaching that understands what it's going to take to help you develop to hopefully get to the NBA in your next stage of your career.
It's a guy that these players are going to be able to learn a lot from at Arkansas, like you said, to get to that next level, to have a person who's been there and done it all through everything in college basketball. Our Kevin McPherson, thank you so much for joining us in our Hog Hoops Report.
Thanks, Nick.
More Pig Trail Show after the break.